always have to wait to see what Jared's going to insert at the beginning.
His weekly insertion.
Yeah, I could never tell. I never have to want to talk because I know something's coming.
Oh yeah.
But welcome. We are the Pivot, right? Let's get this out of the way. We are in week 5 of the NFL. We are at DK Drafting Fantasy Football Show, brought to you by, let's see what get in there, Vast Bank, executively produced by Toby Biocchini. I'm Matt Lyons. He's Jared, the producer, and Juice. Good morning or good afternoon, wherever we are. What are we? Midday.
Afternoon.
I guess it's right at noon. So, how is everyone?
Recovering from last week.
Bad week
Worst week so far.
for us, yes.
Brutal week.
Yeah.
Brutal week. We said some good things on the show. We didn't necessarily put together the best lineup.
I did not.
We made a few minor changes before kickoff, right?
Yeah, just a few.
Yeah.
Didn't help or really kill us.
There was a lot of Sunday morning news that changed the slate, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Well, why don't we let's give it a little hindsight 2020 then. Let's talk about last week.
Yep. I just had it pulled up and then I pressed the button.
Let's not do that yet. Let's talk about where did we go wrong?
Everywhere.
All of it, mostly. There wasn't a play that we played that was in the Millionaire Maker. So
That's probably a first.
yeah. I can tell you the Millionaire Maker now. If
I
you'd
guess
like.
we might as well talk more about that than our crappy team.
Yeah, it was not something you want to remember. It was a disappointment. All right, Millionaire Maker. Justin Fields, 32.9. Kamara.
We talked about that.
Yeah, we did. Kamara, 21.4. Arcane.
Who didn't see that coming?
Arcane? Arcon?
Let's all agree on this. A-Chan.
It's not.
It is. That's what he said.
No, he corrected us.
He corrected us from
This week.
A-Chain.
From A-Chain, yes. Oh, wait, what'd you say?
A-Chan.
No, yep, you're right. I'm wrong.
Usually.
Chan, 30 points. Ayuk, 23.8. Puka Nakua, 34.3.
Who didn't see that coming? I mean, it seems like we could have seen all this coming. I didn't see any of it coming.
DJ Moore, 30.1.
Did not see that coming.
Cole Kmet, 27.6.
It was the Bears week.
And it was a week for Nico Collins, 38.8 in the flex.
Probably
And then,
your second favorite player of all time on this show, right?
Yeah, I say his name a lot. Cowboys, 27 points for a collective points of 265.9 for the Millionaire Maker winner.
Cowboys 27.
Yeah.
You know where I felt like I went wrong?
On every one of those things they just said.
I was really high on the high-priced receivers, but I had no Stephon Diggs.
Yeah.
I had Diggs, and then we took him out of our lineup. So I don't even like mentioning that. 10 minutes before.
McCaffrey blew up, right?
He did 45 or 48.
But he wasn't in the Millionaire Maker?
He wasn't in the Millionaire Maker, no.
Shows you that price matters.
Yeah, price definitely does matter.
But other than that, the guy had the nuts.
He did. It was his best week ever in San Francisco so far.
I wasn't talking about McCaffrey. I was talking about the guy who built that lineup.
Oh, okay.
But
anyways, what I said is still valid.
Is he from San Francisco, the guy that won?
Maybe.
That's awesome.
Maybe he is.
Okay, so we didn't play any of that, right?
Wait, so
No, we
should
didn't
we
play.
make one of Jared's insertions, a con?
A Chan?
A Chan?
A Chan.
I thought we agreed on this. You mean for this week or last
No,
week?
just that's one of the insertions he uses for the season, you know? A con, is that what he's calling him?
Yes.
A con? Wait, I don't understand. I didn't play him last week. What? I missed
Just the
joke.
pronunciation, not the play.
the pronunciation.
Just the
Okay.
pronunciation.
Yeah.
Meaning you can call him that, but
Yeah,
nobody else
yeah.
can.
Okay. I get it.
So, okay. So that was Millionaire Maker. Ray's League, we didn't finish well. I finished like 24th, which was the best of the three of us, which isn't saying a ton.
We finished 37th.
Who won it?
We
give him
got
credit.
we got Mick Millenp, 209 points.
Okay. Who did he have?
He had Richardson,
Okay.
Joshua Kelly, Kyron Williams, Myers for the Raiders, Austin for Pittsburgh, Puka Nakua, Cole Kmet, Christian McCaffrey, Ravens.
So that lineup is just splattershot, right? I mean, is there any correlation of that lineup in any kind?
Does not appear so. No.
Those
No.
seem to be the kind of lineups to be playing these weeks.
Yeah, really, truly.
I will continue to correlate and do all the stuff that I've been taught you're supposed to do and see if it works ever.
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to add a segment this week. The reason we have the Juice is because the Juice has vital information, and I'd like Juice to share some information on guys coming back from injuries, guys injured. There's a lot of it this time of year, and obviously vital for building your DFS lineup. What are you seeing? Injuries affected last-minute changes last week. We had 2 quarterbacks ruled out, opened up the Stone Min on 2 quarterbacks. Anything? What are you seeing this week?
I think the biggest news probably affects a couple players is Cooper Kupp coming back.
Yeah, there we go.
I mean, Puka Nakua's had the most yards to start the receptions to start
fantasy
the season
points,
as a
whatever
rookie of all time.
Whatever statistic you want to use.
Yeah, that's you would think that's got to, cut into his production somewhat. And McVay said that he's not going to play Cooper Kupp until he's fully healthy. So he must be fully healthy if you're going to believe coach speak on that one.
Yeah.
He is on the main slate.
He is on the main slate.
How much is Cooper Kupp going for this week?
He's not cheap.
He's 8,600.
Wow, they're prepared for Cooper Kupp to be back.
Yeah. So
And Puka Nakua is 77.
So I've heard a bunch in the industry that it affects Nakua more than it affects Atwell. True?
I think it affects all of them, but I think it's going to affect Nakua more because he's getting the majority of the production so far.
And he plays, I think Atwell plays more of a slot type than Nakua and Kupp, right?
Yeah, it's interesting because, and I haven't really thought about it this way, but people have been saying, would you play Cooper Kupp at 6,600 every week if that was his salary?
That's what they've been saying about Nakua, right?
Yes. And that's essentially what Nakua's been. It's Cooper Kupp.
He might be even Cooper Kupp on steroids a bit.
Well, Cooper Kupp was pretty damn good.
That's true.
He was, we were paying $10K for Cooper Kupp at one point. So the 8,600, it depends how you want to look at it. That could be a discount. You know what I'm saying?
You think Cooper Kupp wins some tournaments this week, or do you think he's?
I don't know. It's such a miss.
Slate effective.
I think that if he might be on a snap count this week.
Okay.
I don't think he's going to be a millionaire maker.
The other one that might possibly be back is Jonathan Taylor.
Yep.
Any information on him, Juice?
He practiced full go yesterday.
Okay.
He's still listed as out, but they could bump him up. Saquon Barkley is another one that's questionable. Probably be a game time decision.
He's the highest, most expensive running back on the slate, and he's injured.
Yep.
Jonathan Taylor's only 6,800 this week, so if he comes back full force, it might be something to look at.
If he gets Moss-like numbers at 6,800,
Yeah. There's Ramondre Stevenson is questionable. Javonte Williams is questionable. I think a sneaky sort of big one is Miles Sanders is questionable.
Okay. What about San Francisco? Debo? We have them on our slate. Is Debo back? Or he played last week, right?
He did play.
Played sparingly and not well necessarily.
Yeah, I think he'll be fine.
Who else? It's got the questionable tag. Devontae Adams is Monday night game.
St. Brown does a
Amon-Ra, Sun God.
Josh Reynolds.
Yeah.
Yeah, St. Brown hasn't practiced yet.
Oh wow.
Whatever that means.
So Reynolds and St. Brown out would add.
Jameson Williams is projected to be back this week for Detroit.
With Brown, maybe St. Brown and Reynolds banged up.
Yeah.
He's 4,000.
Do you think that makes the tight end
Jameson Williams
Laporta look more favorable?
I think so.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
He's still a decent price.
He's 5K this week.
He might be getting a lot of volume. Anything else on the injury front before?
let me ask you this though: would you rather play Laporta at 5K or Mark Andrews at 5,500?
I don't know if Laporta's getting the volume. I think he might. That's a tough one.
That is a tough one.
I like Hawkinson. I think on our slate, Hawkinson and Kelsey are your only.
I will say last week Andrews 5 targets, 5 catches, 80 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Yep, he's back.
So highly efficient last week.
I like it. Don't get me wrong. I forget about Andrews sometimes this year.
I did too. I've continuously forgot about him.
His salary is just so sort of tempting, Like when I look at Mark Andrews at 5,500, I'm like, huh. But last week he paid it off for sure.
Well, let's transition over to everybody's favorite segment, or at least their favorite intro music, and that is our 50-cent pieces here. This is part of the show where we discuss what games Vegas has slated to go over the 50-point total and what games we think might get over the 50-point total, and maybe even give you some indication on games that we don't think will get there. I have done a little bit of research, and I think we're in the normal realm for each week, and there's not a whole bunch of 50% pieces, correct?
I
I
have
have
a
not
guess.
factored into the Sunday night, Monday night games. Go ahead, Jared. I think you have less info on this.
All right. I think that there is 3 50-cent pieces.
Matt?
No, God! No, God, please, no! No!
One.
No! No!
Might as well hit that again.
No, me? I missed.
No, God!
This must be the.
No, God, please,
This must be the
no!
their Monday night game. Must be a 50-cent piece.
You said 3, you said 1, right?
It's
Yeah.
two.
It's 2.
Yeah.
Ah.
Because Vegas, Green Bay is a 50-cent piece, right?
No.
Oh,
Kansas City
That is, yes.
is definitely a 50-cent piece.
who's the other one?
And then I think they're just going to go with Miami
no,
Giants.
that's definitely not it.
We spent a lot of time talking about a lot of players from this game.
The Rams.
Yeah, the Rams and the Eagles. 50.
Rams and the Eagles. Okay.
Right at 50?
Right at 50.
Okay, I think that must have been bet up because I think at one point there was only one. Because, like I said,
Could be.
I've done a little research on this.
So you cheated a little bit.
I told you openly, I tell you on the weeks that I've prepared and not prepared for these type of things.
Well,
I have no preparation on ownership percentage, so I should miss all that.
I thought Giants Miami would be the third 50
So is
cent
that
piece.
your favorite?
No, it's not my favorite, but I like it. I have some plays in that game definitely.
Okay, well, give us your favorite game to go. What's your high scoring game of the week?
Giants and Dolphins is 47.5.
So it's not too far off.
No.
Not too far. Probably Kansas City, Minnesota.
Okay,
Probably.
that's a great choice. Thank you.
Well,
for
I mean,
that.
does it make
we
sense?
appreciate that.
It's in the dome.
It's in the
I
dome.
mean,
Yeah.
You in Vegas. I mean,
Yeah.
How about one that's not the top point predicted
Well,
game?
then I'll just go with Giants Miami.
That's what. Okay, we got you. It took us a while, but we got him there. Right? I said, "Is that your favorite?" Not my favorite. Okay, but okay. The two favorites are the. You have a sneaky one somewhere.
A sneaky one? No, I
Okay.
don't. I don't.
That's great.
I don't know where to look there. I like Miami Giants. I like Kansas City, Minnesota.
I like those games.
I kind of like Houston, Atlanta a little bit too.
On our slate, I like the Monday night game. I like Green Bay and Las Vegas. I think that's good. I think that's got to be a high scoring game.
Am I losing my mind? Is Minneapolis, is it a dome or is it not a dome?
It's a dome.
It is a dome, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. For some reason, I'm thinking it wasn't a dome. Like, okay. The Chiefs Vikings obviously is very intriguing. The Eagles Rams. What do y'all think about the Cowboys 49ers?
I get scared off of those games. I've been, like I said earlier to you guys, been pre-show that I'm scared of DFS. I get easily scared off games with really good defenses for some reason, and then they end up shooting out, and I miss out completely. I can say I have not built a lineup yet that has a Dallas San Francisco player in it.
Wow. Okay.
I haven't been targeting it at all. What do you think about it?
Man, I don't know. I mean, there are like a lot of good plays from those games, but again, I think they're two really good defenses. But the total has me kind of thinking like 45 is an intriguing total.
They're both really good offenses too, so
They are.
that's the weird thing. Now, San Francisco seems a little banged up and a little McCaffrey oriented, but he seems to be able to pull it off every week. So
Yeah, I mean he's 9,400 this week against a pretty good defense.
but to pay that off, I mean, you literally have to get 30.
I mean, like we saw, he wasn't even in the Millionaire Maker at that price.
Right. Literally have to get 30, which he got 50 last week, so that's a lot better than 30. So, what do you think about that game, Juice? You got any particular?
Honestly, no, I haven't really thought too much about it because I haven't looked at the salaries for the Sunday night games. I'm assuming McCaffrey's up there.
He 9,400.
9,400.
I'm assuming like some of the Cowboys guys are up there.
I think everybody's pretty expensive in that game. I didn't.
Yeah.
Tony Pollard 7,600.
A little expensive for going against the number one run defense.
Lamb is 7,300.
What do y'all think about the Bengals Cardinals? I mean, this is about as cheap as we're ever going to see Joe Burrow.
That's what I was going to say. If you want a sneaky, potentially high scoring game, isn't Cincinnati, Arizona in that list?
It's 45, so it's right in line with
I mean, even the Giants put up big numbers against the
Cardinals.
right.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's a game you can target. Can the Giants keep it competitive with the Dolphins?
I think so.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a 50-cent piece. So
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, it's up there. It's 47.5.
yeah,
There's a couple of games I just kind of want to like nix off. Like the Saints Patriots, I want nothing from that game.
Kamara is tough to not look at after his 15 targets or
For 33 yards.
yeah.
but still 15 is
15, I think he had 13 catches for 33 yards.
he got there. So
He got there.
He's 6,300. Yeah, 14 targets. That's ridiculous.
That's insane.
Yeah.
The Ravens Steelers, I don't want any part of that
I got
game.
no part of
No,
that game.
yeah, I don't want that. We got a question up there if you guys can see it.
Let me read it here. Would you trade away Bijan and Pickens for Lamb and
Yes.
And
I-
who?
I-
Lamb and who?
Octane.
Achane?
Oh yeah.
His running backs are Bijan, Saquon, Kyron, Hall. Jeez, good running backs.
I would do that.
I would do it. I'm not as high on Pickens as I was preseason. You got Pickett hurt now, so you're dealing with potentially the second quarterback in Pittsburgh,
Which is what Mitch
Trubinsky.
Trubinsky.
Quick hiccup there. We were talking about
The trade.
the trade, which is no longer in the chat, but we
Pull
talking.
the trigger.
Yeah, I liked it. Even if it is a dynasty, you still have a Chan as a keeper possibly. Bijan, but they both look good. But they're both getting, yeah. Anyway, good trade. If you're still listening, hopefully we pick people back up. We were about to. We were at 50-cent pieces,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Juice was talking a little bit about some sneakier games. Cincinnati, Arizona is one of them that you mentioned.
Yep.
What about like Philadelphia Rams? Is that like a game that you see a lot of people playing, or?
I think so. I mean, again, it's going to come down to the Cooper Cup Puka question. Like, do you want to play one? Do you want to play both? Like what do you think Cooper coming back does to both the receivers?
I originally started building in the Carolina-Detroit game, but now St. Brown and Reynolds not practicing. That's a tough one, I think, to build around as much, right?
I feel like St. Brown is going to play.
Yeah, I think he's going to play. And I'm actually of the opinion that I think Cooper Kupp isn't really going to mess with Puka Nacua too much because I think that all their top defenders are going to go to Cooper Kupp, which is going to give Puka Nacua more opportunity to do what he's already been doing.
Which fantasy team do you have Nakua on?
Just one.
Oh, just the only team you have?
No, I mean, I have like 4 leagues. I only have him on one.
Did you pick him up or did you draft?
I picked him up.
Okay.
That's probably a good pickup.
Yeah,
Yeah.
solid pickup. Your cousin didn't get to him?
No, I got to him first.
Is this that league? Is it Cuz's league?
It's my league. Yeah, it's the $100 league.
Does Cuz still listen to the show?
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Former guest.
Yeah.
You know, one injury we didn't mention was T. Higgins.
Yeah. Oh, we did
that's a
not.
big
Oh,
one.
yeah, that is a big one.
Yeah,
He remained sidelined from practice yesterday. So, I mean, does that hurt or does that help Jamar Chase?
Well, didn't Chase get into it with the coach and asked to be traded? Was that this week or did I read it?
He
all?
did. Yeah, Chase was not happy this past week. He was pretty upset.
Him and Zach Taylor got into it and he asked to be traded. It's a weird situation in Cincinnati right now.
It's amazing how, not theatrical wide receivers are in the NFL.
Yeah.
Yeah, Diggs was demanding a trade before the season. Now he looks great. Well, I don't know what to do with Cincinnati. They're one that a lot of season-long teams have been affected by.
Yeah.
'Cause obviously, going into the season, you would have to think great things about their offense. So
Joe Burrow
they
just-
look bad.
Yeah, Joe Burrow. Yeah, looks bad. He does not look like the same Joe Burrow that we're used to.
you guys ready to start building?
Yeah. Well, we got to do ownership for
Do we do that before? Yeah, I guess we do. Gosh,
Yep.
you'd think I
Yep.
would know the show by now.
Yeah. Come on.
Whoop, there not is, and This is the segment where we guess who the public is playing this week, and generally we are wrong. The running toilet is something we need to deal with at some point.
They should stop, right?
Right, in theory.
That's how they're designed.
Ownership percentages. Quarterback, who Juice always tells us to play anybody. Is that where we're going to start?
Let me give you guys the percentage of the top owned quarterback this week.
Okay.
Just
It's going to be like 4.
14.
14. Okay.
Yeah, I'm going Mahomes.
Number 4.
Oh, come on. I was hitting the button thinking I got number 1. I left you space.
I'm gonna go with
14%.
is Dobbs up there?
Not at no.
No, he's not.
Where,
not
where is he?
terrible.
Just hitting every button. Oh, it's not. It's not every button worthy.
He's 12.
12?
Yeah,
Okay.
that might be every button worthy. Can I get? Do I get second guess?
Sure.
I'll take
Cousins.
6th.
Sixth? Okay.
We're going backwards here.
Anthony Richardson.
5th.
Okay,
Wow.
we're getting better.
14%
Did
on.
you guys not watch my short this week?
Well, I didn't. I thought about saying that, but I didn't
Well,
think
say
it'd be. It's Tua.
Oh, is it
Tagovailoa.
really?
Yeah.
He's 7,100.
Wow, that's shocking. 7,100 Tua is the top owned quarterback.
Number 2, Jalen Hurts.
Okay.
Number 3, Joe Burrow. 4, Patrick Mahomes, Richardson, Cousins, Lamar, Goff, Daniel Jones, and Matt Stafford is 5,600.
I'm surprised it's 14% though for Tua. I guess a lot of Tyreek. Oh, we'll wait. We'll transition over to running back first.
I will say the Matt Stafford at 5,600 is somewhat intriguing.
It's hard to play. He offers nothing but literally has to like throw 2 touchdowns and 300 yards to get there, even at that price, right?
Here's the thing with Matthew Stafford. I think he's had 1 week where he hasn't thrown over 300 yards. He just hasn't attached touchdowns to it. But with Cooper Kupp coming back, maybe that changes.
I mean, let's look at his point totals this year. He's got 17, 18, 13, and 20 at 5,600.
Yeah.
So probably a better cash play than a tournament play.
I would agree with that.
Okay, so let's go to running back.
Okay. What is the percentage of the top owned running back?
19%.
Wow.
I have a guess.
I like doing it with this. No, well, you go. Here, you walk right on in. Hold on. Let me get every button that I want to hit.
Okay.
I forget what this
I
button-
don't think you guys will get it.
Oh,
I forget what
okay,
this
I'm gonna
button. Oh, I
change
know
my-
what button that
I'm gonna
is.
change my
I
guess
will hit
then.
this button if you get it number 1. I haven't hit this button in a long time. Maybe
Pretend I didn't say what I said. Just go with your gut.
Okay.
his gut got us Josh Dobbs.
No, well, it wasn't a terrible guess.
Yes, it was.
Wasn't the worst.
It wasn't the
Wasn't
worst.
the best.
He wasn't
By
number
any
32 out of.
Okay, I'm just gonna go with what I originally thought, which was Brees Hall.
I'm gonna,
Not terrible.
No, God! No, God,
He's number
please,
8.
no!
are you going off
Denver.
his
It's Denver.
taking? I like the last no in that. Is that based on him saying that they're taking the pitch count off of him?
I would think so. And it's Denver.
Yeah.
And he's 5,400. So
He's
very
pretty cheap.
Very cheap.
I can't swing and miss here. I'm gonna go David Montgomery.
Number 5.
Ooh,
Not
Okay.
bad.
Did I get
Well,
clapped? Top 5 gets clapped.
Sure, top 5 gets the clap. What about Arcane?
Oh God, I thought we were frozen.
A Kane, number 4.
Number 4.
We're getting there. Now we're starting to get somewhere.
Now I'm confused. Is it a Chan? Is that how we
Yes.
want to? Okay.
A Chan?
The chain part is the wrong part.
Yeah.
A Chan. Okay.
Yeah.
Everyone's got me confused right now. Okay, so a Chan is number 4.
I like that play. There's some cheap run back in the New York game.
All right, what's number 1? Obviously, we didn't get it.
DeAndre Swift is number 1.
Oh wow.
6K.
Good pick.
Bijan Robinson, 7,700.
That's who I almost guessed.
Joe Mixon at number 3, a name I never like to click. David Montgomery, Kamara, Alexander Madison, Brees Hall, and Ramondre Stevenson at number 10.
Who's
Just
questionable?
outside the top 10, who I think is somewhat interesting, is Derrick Henry. Doesn't he always kill the Colts?
I had Derrick Henry in my original build.
He does. Always kills the Colts.
I like it. I like Derrick Henry this week.
Okay, let's go to receiver. I'll give you the percentage owned for number one.
Okay.
20%.
20%.
God, it makes you feel dumb that 20% of the people are playing these people, and I don't know who it is.
Well, I'm just going to go with the obvious choice. Tyreek Hill.
Number two.
Okay.
Not bad.
That isn't bad.
There's a theme with these top players, guys.
Now, if I could only remember who the top players in each position were, I would kind of could catch on to who that theme was.
All right, let's see what how your guess does.
God, I don't know if I have a guess.
A lot of redundancy in these top five players in each position, in my opinion.
Oh, Rashid Rice.
He's not. I'm sorry to laugh. It's not a horrible.
It was terrible.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, he's number 10. It's not
Oh,
terrible.
that's
Number
not
10.
that
Not-
bad.
not that bad.
It's not that
bad.
Not that bad. I
That's
just
not-
was laughing more at Jared's reaction. He's 10.
It was a pretty bad guess.
Okay. What team has had the top three quarterback and the top three running back?
I can't remember.
Oh, God.
Yes.
Top two quarterback and top three.
Top three in both quarterback and running back so far.
Miami.
Yeah,
But he
that's
guessed-
true. That's,
he guessed
no,
two.
not running back. Not running back. I think you guys guessed Jamar,
No, you're telling us Jamar Chase was the number
number
one.
one. Okay, number two is Tyreek.
Okay, he guessed that
AJ Brown, number three.
after a big week.
You mentioned him pre-show. Wandale Robinson at 4.
Right, the Stone Men.
Stoneman at 3K. Tyler Boyd at 5. I guess people are thinking that T. Higgins might be out. Nico Collins, Garrett Wilson, the Sun God, and Justin Jefferson round out the top 10.
Wow.
Garrett Wilson continues to get targeted, even though he's not finding his way to high efficiency with those targets. Okay, let's
Slide over to
transition.
tight end.
This is where I really start to get embarrassing.
The highest owned tight end this week is 13% owned.
13% owned. Okay.
Hawkinson.
Matt, who is the top tight end every week?
Not Hawkinson?
No, it's Travis Kelce.
Oh, I forget he's on the. For some reason, I didn't have him on the main slate.
You always guess Kelce.
I would have guessed Kelsey, but for some reason, I thought he was Sunday night, but he's not.
So Travis Kelce number one. So let's see if we can pick number two. I don't think you guys will get number two.
Zach Ertz.
Number 6. It's not bad.
Laporta.
3.
Conklin. Now I'm just firing darts.
Yeah. Not terrible, but I think he's like 13th. Dallas Goedert is number 2.
Dallas Goedert.
How much are they charging for Dallas Goedert?
4,200.
4,200.
For
So
a guy who's averaging 5 points a game, that's not too.
tight end has been a complete S show
Yep.
all year long.
Yep. It's
I
not
think
been
this
fun.
week you got to play one of the top 3. I think almost, right?
I mean, Durham Smythe at 3K is number 4.
Really? I was just looking at him. I considered him as a guess.
Chiga Konkwu, Tyler Higbee, Big Irv Smith, show favorite, and Mark Andrews round of the top 10. How about Kyle Pitts at 3,300?
No thanks.
So I've heard information
Wow.
that Kyle Pitts is injured.
Yeah,
He's playing-
that's the prevailing sentiment out around the league.
That's that he's playing with a knee injury.
Yeah.
Someday, Kyle Pitts. Someday, right?
We've thought that for a while, and he's just
In his
Not done
defense,
what-
he has not had a good quarterback in his career.
he is not.
Let's talk defenses. We were a show that was well known back in the day for guessing cheap defenses. We haven't pulled that out lately. I have no idea who the number 1 defense would be. Jared, you like to think you have some idea.
I do. I have a guess.
Who's that?
Is it Detroit?
No.
Are they in the
Nope.
I'm going to go
Anywhere?
Cardinals.
No?
Nope.
Not even close?
Not even close.
Wow.
Okay, then. What?
Let's
gonna
let's
go
at least
with-
get a guess that gets us in the top 5. Wow.
Who's a cheap defense this week?
Who's the cheapest?
Who is a cheap defense?
Titans.
Number one.
Oh,
Titans number 1, really.
There's some merit there. I mean, they're going against
I mean, if you want to play
Anthony
Henry,
Richardson.
yeah, and if you want to play Henry, you can correlate the two.
Yeah.
You can guess that they might be playing from ahead. Yeah, that makes sense to me. I might go back to it, actually.
Number 2, the Saints
Hmm.
playing against the Patriots. Number 3, Miami playing against Daniel
Giants?
Jones and the
Okay.
Giants. And then the Jets are 4th, Patriots are 5th, Broncos, Chiefs, Colts, Panthers, and Texans round out the top 10.
I like it. Let's. Oh, I always forget this thing. Before we start building our own, well, as we transition to building our own lineup, let's discuss the players that we think just have to be in the lineup before we start building stacks and talking individual positions. This seems to be Jared's favorite segment of the show. It is Jared's lineup in Ray's league, so we give him a little bit of leeway here
Yeah.
with some of these insertions. He had some good assertions to start off the year,
Excluding last week.
excluding last week. You kind of used the same one last week. I think you went to the well one too many times, maybe.
Well, yeah, Tank Dell. I mean, he's still cheap, but I mean,
Who's the guy that you feel like we cannot not play this week?
the guy that I keep looking at this week is Wan'Dale Robinson.
Wow, I think we probably all may be able to agree on that. I have Wan'Dale in my lineup. What about you, Juice?
The only thing I'd say about Wan'Dale is isn't he questionable?
He does have a
He's questionable. Most likely he's going to play. He's only 3,000 DraftKings dollars. He had 6 targets for 40 yards, 1 rushing attempt for 7. In a game where most likely the Giants are going to have to throw the ball a lot, it seems that their favorite is Wan'Dale Robinson. And it feels like he's going to easily cash this $3,000 salary.
I mean, he had there was a drive last week where I think he caught 4 balls in a row on 4 straight plays.
But he only caught 5 total.
So they must have all came in one drive. But he's still at 3,000.
I mean, I don't hate the play. Let's look at what he's projected ownership.
He was number 5 or 6.
14%. That's not crazy. If he gets above, like, say 25%, I'm gonna fade him. Personally.
For inserting him into this. Are you okay with playing him in the show
Yeah,
lineup?
I am.
I want to say if we play Wan'Dale, I feel like it's a great correlation with either Mostert or Chan if you have a favorite.
Or Tyreek.
Or Tyreek.
Or Waddle.
Or I'm a little nervous on Waddle. I'm afraid to hit the Waddle button at this point.
Yeah, I'm a little afraid to hit the Waddle button. But, yeah, I mean, I'd love to correlate it where we use Tyreek, even a Chan or whatever, however you say his name.
I think a Chan's going to be highly played this week, as we discussed.
And I'm not against using Tua.
Okay, now we're talking. Highest projected owned quarterback. I didn't see that coming, so I don't. In Ray's league, I don't think we're going to have any real big concern that Tua's going to be like 40% or anything, right?
I don't think so.
I mean, I don't know what's the most we've ever seen on a quarterback in Ray, like
Probably 20.
20,
maybe.
and that
Yeah.
was like probably a $4,000 play that everybody kind of just fell into.
You're right.
I don't hate Tua. Juice, we didn't even get your stack, but we watched your short, and
Yeah.
Tua was your favorite quarterback in your short. Are you good with this stack?
I am. My biggest sort of, I don't know if it's question or problem. It's what do we do with the running backs for Miami? Do we play any of them? Do we just not play any of them?
I feel like if we're going to play Tua and Robin or Tua Hill, that's a complete negative correlation to play.
Is it though? I mean, a Chan has made.
I mean, just unless we think they're going to. I mean, if we think they're going to score over 50, then you can get away with it,
I mean, I think they've got a team total in the 30s.
right?
Let's look at. I feel like Achane is getting some targets though. No, I mean, am I?
Producer.
Last week he got,
He's got
5
and 4.
targets. Yeah,
5
5
and 4
targets.
last 2 weeks.
He's very efficient, as we've said.
Super efficient. He had 19 yards in reception yards last week. 8 attempts in rushing, 101.
How many
with 2
targets?
touchdowns.
He is running
Just
hotter
5.
than the sun, dude.
What?
5.
Okay. I mean, I'm not going to not disagree. I'm playing a Chan in my lineup. I just playing all 3 of. I mean, it is the number 1 offense, right?
Have
Yep.
we ever seen a running back in the NFL average 11 or 12 yards a carry?
No.
I don't remember it ever happening.
A lot of it are the defenses he's played, but New York is another defense.
I mean,
and this one's
Buffalo
at
is
home.
Buffalo a bad
No,
defense?
that's true.
Denver's a bad defense.
Yes.
Yes,
We can all agree on
they're very bad. And that week that Miami played Denver, you could have played Mozart, Tua, Chan or whatever,
We're
and
going to get
scored
this right one of these
and
days.
scored 120 fantasy points just with the 3 of them. So I mean, like, this is another bad team that they're going up against. So there's going to be a lot of points on the board.
I mean,
Let
if
me-
you're
let
going to
me
run
ask you
back a
this.
giant, you might as well run back a dirt min too, right?
Yeah. Let me ask you guys this. Do you think Miami playing from well ahead favors a Chan more or Mostert?
Probably a Chan.
A Chan.
Yeah.
Really?
No, I think Mostert. But I don't know. I don't know if they're transitioning. I mean, Mostert is effective running back. This is why this is a difficult, probably the fantasy question of the week, right? How do you attack this game? And if you attack this game, if you use a running back, which running back to use?
So Mostert's usage has gone down consecutively over the last 3 weeks, and Chan has gone up consecutively the last 3 weeks. So I feel like it's definitely shifting towards more a Chan's team than it is Mozart, and Mozart's just like a kind of going into that.
But game script has
security
given. I mean, they were killing a team by
role.
50, and so Chan got a lot of action, and then they were losing on it by a bunch, and a Chan got a lot of the action. So, like Juice said, if they're winning, is that going to be the same correlation or not?
I think it's a Chan's team now.
Okay, I like it. What do you think, Juice? You going to add any more to
This is
that?
a tough one for me. I mean, I'm really struggling with this. I mean, like I feel like I've been fading a Chan, and he's just been shoving it, where to me
Yeah.
last couple weeks.
Right.
Do I hop on now and he, like you said, playing scared? I mean, like this is the playing scared call of the week.
Yeah.
Scared to fade him.
Yeah. I'm
I mean,
scared
if
to
we
fade him,
don't
I'm
know,
scared to
we
play
can
him.
just not do it.
I like it. No, I mean, no. I think we're just discussing. I mean, I don't
It's
mind
an important
playing.
question, I think, that we need to.
Hey, we got somebody up there. What are they saying?
It's Christian.
Christian, hey buddy. Hey bud. Thanks for being on the show. I do like. God, man. He's just hot. He's running hotter than the sun, man. I mean,
He is.
8 carries for 100 yards.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
hard.
it's not sustainable, but I mean, I thought he'd stop last week, and he didn't.
I can see him getting more plays where involving more targets too. So
Yeah.
if he's going to start taking over the Mostert role, then he would start working into some of his targets. So I'm fine with what do we call this one? Super stacking when we do the
Like the oh my God.
ultra mega stack, or
You had a better term for it. I can't remember what it was, but
that
It'll
was
come to me.
Juice's stacks were terms were
oh yeah, it was Juices.
yeah. Okay, so where do we go next?
Well, I will say my lock is Tyreek. He only got 3 catches last week. I feel like it's a squeaky wheel narrative for him. I think they're going to get him involved.
I like it.
Good.
Keep him in.
And I think for this lineup, I do like Wandale. I say we roll the dice with a Chan.
Okay,
You guys good with that?
I'm good with it. He's still relatively cheap for the ceiling.
I'm definitely good with it. Okay, what position do we want to go
Let's
next?
go defense. We need to start.
Just do Titans. Is that what we want to do? Want to go with like the
no,
Chalky.
I don't want to go chalk. With
My favorite defense this week was definitely the Lions against Carolina. They're
They're
3,800.
expensive.
They're not that expensive. I mean,
Not that expensive. Third highest expensive is pretty expensive.
yeah, they're as far as like the other salaries, but still 3,800.
I mean, if you got them for a
Not that
lock
bad.
for 10 points or 12 points, then yes, I would agree that they're not that expensive.
But we don't have to go with him. That's just my opinion.
I don't hate it. I just usually, I mean, we can save 1,000. You keep pointing up there. You're scaring me.
Oh,
I
I'm
thought
not.
we were locked.
Nope.
Juice, what do you think on the defensive side? I like the Titans personally, but I like pairing him with Derrick Henry. If we played the Lions, I don't think a Montgomery play would be terrible here either.
What do you think, Juice?
What is Montgomery this week? What salary?
6,600.
I never feel good about clicking Montgomery, but he's been productive.
He's been very
there's no doubt.
productive, yeah.
And a very productive offense.
32 attempts last week. 37 fantasy points.
So here's a running back I sort of like this week that I think is fairly inexpensive, and I don't mind the play.
Are we discussing this to pair him with the defense?
Yeah, Connor.
I looked at that as a pot. Arizona is definitely a popular play in the industry for obvious reasons. And I like Connor. Connor's coming off not his best game, right?
Right.
His usage went down a bit, but this is a great game for, I feel like they have to save the running backs to some degree. I don't think they can play 17 games of full workload. Though I predicted that with McCaffrey last week, and that did not come to fruition.
So you're thinking Arizona as our
Arizona,
defense
yeah,
paired
Connor.
with James Conner?
I mean, I don't think I like that.
He's at home. Cincinnati's looked awful, right? I mean, I think they're going to want to run the ball, and I think he's the guy. So I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't mind throwing a dart at Connor and then saving some money with Cardinals. We need to save a little bit of money because we're running out of salary.
Well, let's flex over to the tight end position and discuss tight end.
Okay.
We have Kelsey in the Kelsey, Hawkinson, Andrews are 76, 65, and 55, so 1,000 off each as you go down. Laporta, I think, is with the injuries, potential banged up wide receivers. Laporta, I feel good about it. 5K.
I would say that Laporta is my favorite play if St. Brown doesn't play, but I think St. Brown will play.
Kittle is in a primetime game at 4,800. Hunter Henry at 4,400. Consistently been putting up points. And after that, it is basically anybody's guess. Sneaky good is Jason Ferguson for Dallas, who's been putting up almost 10 points a game.
Yeah.
In the dirt, I don't know if there's a dirt tight end play this week. Does anybody know just complete dirt? Ogletree coming off a touchdown week at 2,700. Hudson, I've heard Cincinnati talk of with Irv Smith banged up, 2,600.
There is Durham Smythe for Miami, 3,000.
Did you call him Durham?
Durham.
I think his mama calls him Durham, but
Durham.
I like Durham.
Durham. It's great. We didn't talk about Musgrave in a Monday night matchup. He's questionable.
Musgrave's
Conklin's been serviceable the last few weeks.
I like Conklin, and he's cheap.
He's fairly cheap, and he's playing against Denver, who's awful. Sorry, Jared, I know that's your
It's Christina's team too.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt my feelings anymore.
I like it.
I don't mind Conklin.
We can play him as a one-off too,
Conklin.
for sure.
Yeah. I don't think we need to run him back with anybody.
Nope.
No. So that leaves us 6,500 each at the wide receiver flex spot. That's some room to play with. Are you looking at two receivers? You looking at running back, receiver? What are you guys thinking?
What is did you say what the ownership percentage for Puka Nacua was this week?
I can look it up right now.
'Cause I
7%.
really like him, especially because it feels like everybody else is going to be off of him.
He's expensive this week, though.
He is 7,700.
I mean,
but
that's Jamar Chase prices.
I think he's gonna service that salary pretty well.
He's questionable.
Nacua? No, he's not.
Really?
No,
Nope.
he's not.
He's not. You're right. I looked at the wrong button. Sorry. Apologize.
That's all right. But I really like him. I know that we only have $6,500 for our flex and our wide receiver, but I really like Puka Nacua this week.
Juice, thoughts?
That price tag.
That's my only
It's
concern.
hard for me to stomach that. I mean, he's been great. But the fact that Cooper Kupp's coming back, we got to remember, Cooper Kupp has arguably been the best fantasy receiver in the last probably 2 or 3 years.
And that's why all the defenders are going to focus on him and give Puka Nacua even more opportunity to do what he's already been doing. And apparently, Philadelphia is not great against the pass.
They're not a juggernaut for sure.
So I just feel like this is
Not a great matchup for total implied points either. I mean, it's not like there's going to have tons of opportunities to score touchdowns on the Philadelphia defense. I mean, I'm not saying we can't play him. That's up to. I mean, ultimately, you can have the final say on that. But I think. I mean, you got Garrett Wilson who got 15 targets at 6,000.
I really like Garrett Wilson this week. Yeah, I like
You
that
got
too.
Sutton who's scoring a touchdown every week. If you really wanted to run something back against Conklin, at 5,400. Dobbs at 4,900, playing in a Monday night matchup where he's. Yeah, I just feel like we got to play 2, and I feel like Puka's going to really limit who that second player is.
I am curious. Are you guys on Nico Collins or Tank Dell at all this week?
I like Nico this week,
He's been really productive.
and I mean he's playing in a dome, right?
Is there any other running back that you guys like a little bit more than Connor? The reason I'm asking this is because
I think Connor's tough this week. I think running back's tough this week.
because I think a couple guys I like in Arizona are Hollywood Brown and
Wilson,
Wilson. I mean, they're cheaper.
thoughts on Wilson? That seems like your type of play, Jared.
I like Wilson. I really like Brees Hall this week as well.
Oh wow.
A lot of people are on Brees Hall this week.
5,400. He's off his pitch count. It's against Denver. He's just all the pieces.
I'm willing.
align.
I'm willing to go with Brees and then the Jets.
Okay. That'll save us some money too, I think.
And then I don't know if we have to go so cheap with Wilson. I guess what I'm saying is we got Wandale. Do we want to throw 2 darts at receiver? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
No, I don't really want to throw two darts.
yeah.
No, not.
I'd almost rather play Brown at 5K.
Brown, Marquise Brown.
Yeah. He's been really sneaky productive this year.
Marquise Brown.
He's had 10, 7, and 10 targets the last 3 games.
That's
At
great.
5K, I mean, I'm fine with that.
I'm not against it. It leaves us 8,100 for our flex.
8,100. Who? Wait a second.
Unless I did something wrong.
No, you didn't.
So I've got Tua, Achane, Hall,
Yep.
Brown,
Hill,
Hill.
Robinson.
Oh, Robinson got taken out of my lineup somehow. That was the problem. Sorry.
So let's take Conklin out. I don't think we need Conklin and Brees Hall.
I would agree with that.
I agree with that.
I just haven't seen him be very productive, has he?
I mean, have you seen any tight ends be very productive
Plus,
other than like say Kelsey? You know, I mean, like it's just such a I either want to pay up a tight end or I
want
just
to
want
pay.
to like
I want to pay up. I think we should with the salary we have left. I think we should either play. I mean, we haven't played any of the KC Minnesota game, right?
no, we haven't.
So if we played Kelsey, we'd have 3,700 left at the flex, and the first people that are popping up are Ferguson, Downs, and then
Try Hawkinson. I think Hawkinson leaves
Michael
us.
Wilson.
Doesn't leave us a lot of goodness either. What about Andrews?
4,800. We can get Tank Dell, who I don't think last week is a good representation of what we should expect from Tank Dell. Yeah, you can see still a cheap receiver with a pretty high ceiling.
I like Pacheco this week. Pacheco, is that how you say it?
Yeah, Pacheco.
Pacheco, yeah.
We could play Mark Andrews and Pacheco. We could play Mark Andrews and Madison if you want to play some of that Minnesota game.
Mark Andrews and Pacheco.
Or we could play Mark Andrews and Nico Collins.
Man, I really like
We liked Laporta too.
Puka Nacua this week.
I think he's going to be sad if we don't get Nakua in here.
I will
It's
be
his lineup.
I will be
we can
kind of
do
sad.
whatever we want, I
So
guess.
if we did Puka Nacua at flex, we have 3,600 for tight ends.
Nakua.
Which Zach Ertz is at the top. Schultz, Conklin's still available.
Ertz is we already. I don't hate Schultz. I don't hate Akanawa.
Okonkwo,
Chig. Who do you,
What
what
do you-
about you over there? Juice, what do you like?
I guess I'd probably go with a safe Dalton Schultz.
Dalton Schultz over Ertz.
Yeah.
I mean, I know we're already playing Marquise Brown, but at these prices, it doesn't really matter.
Let's try something. Let's go. Let's just see what happens.
We're taking Brown out.
Yeah.
yeah,
And let's go down to Wilson.
I think somebody's asking about Kyle Pitts up there, if I'm reading that correct. Any interest in Kyle Pitts this week?
No.
0.
Never.
Like less than 0. If he beats me, he beats me. I just haven't seen anything really that I need from Pitts.
He's let me down so many times. I'm just basically just not willing to.
You want to throw a dart in a
Risk it,
big
you know.
tournament or something, go for it. But not in like my main lineup. Am I looking at?
We could get Kittle in.
Kittle's been pretty disappointing too.
Yeah. I mean, tight end sucks. If you're not playing one of the top tight ends, they just suck. That's why I think Nakua is too expensive for this lineup, but that's just my personal opinion.
I understand.
Is that it really takes away from what we can do at tight end.
All right, let's take Nakua out. And
We put Breece Hall in for you, who I also am not a huge fan of, but you just 7,700 Nakua with Cooper Kupp at 8,600 playing the exact same position this week. It's just tough on me, right? Like,
so what if we went with Kelsey and we got 4,300 and left of the 2 other spots? You guys want to try and make that work?
then I think you could definitely got to go Wilson, right?
What if we did this? This is a little off the radar. Noah Gray from Kansas City, who pops in on some special packages every now and again.
Mm-hmm.
And in the flex, we go with Justin Jefferson.
So say that one more time.
Noah Gray at tight end, really cheap, 2,800. 3, 7, and 6 targets the last 3 weeks. And then we could run Justin Jefferson, run it back in the flex.
Or we could just put him in the wide receiver spot, and then the flex leaves us.
Yeah, because I think who are you?
Okay,
Do you
that's
already have
fine.
Michael Wilson in? Is that?
I did, but I can take him out.
I like Wilson though there at 30.
I mean, we can still play him. I'm just saying, like at flex, what do we have at 4,100 that around there?
Could run we could play both Jefferson and Osborne, which I don't hate. Or we could just leave Wilson in.
Or we could throw in like Valdez Scantling or something. Really kind of swing for the fences there. I don't know if we have to do that.
We got Tyreek and Jefferson in this lineup.
Yep. If we went down to the Titans, just messing with things here, our options are Kittle, Dell, Spears, Cooks, Drake London. The thing that I like the most is Dell, just because,
I like Dell in that dome.
yeah. So we
What
could
do
go.
you think?
We could go
Juice?
Titans and just fit Dell in.
I'm going to keep banging this drum because it's like a personal thing for me now. I don't understand why Denver is not getting Marvin Mims Jr. involved more.
Yeah,
I don't
I
know
don't
either.
understand this. Like, I mean, he just makes plays every week. He's 4K. He's going against the Jets. We have Breece Hall. It's a nice little run back.
I'm fine with firing Mims. Mims worked out for us the one time we played.
Mims has had a 20-point fantasy week off of two targets and 2
I mean, he's like
receptions.
running as hot as like a Chan, if you think about it. Like
Yeah.
in his volume.
So I'm
And-
confused though because we have 4,800 left. Did we change something up?
I think so.
I think we landed on Mims and we're just going to go back to the Jets, right? Is that what
Yeah,
we're feeling?
yeah.
Oh, that's where we are.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that. And Mims is 4K, right?
Yeah. I kind of like this. I mean, we got parts from the Miami game. We got parts from the Minnesota game, Kansas City game. And I don't know. I like it.
Well, we have two stud receivers, Jefferson and Hill,
Yeah.
a great quarterback, and everything else
We would call
is
this studs
serviceable.
and duds, right?
Yeah, studs and duds. Juice's weekly
Yeah. I
bet.
mean, look at Jefferson's points like last 3 weeks 26.5, 31, 28. And I don't think he's exploded yet.
he has not exploded
The
yet.
end zone, he hasn't got multiple touchdowns.
No. And this is a high scoring game.
This is a 50-cent piece. I mean, if
Yeah.
it's going to come from anywhere, it's got to come from him, most likely at least.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is a great bounce back week for Tyreek Hill. I do think that Brees Hall is a great play. I feel like this is, if there's ever a week for him to show what he used to do, it's this week.
The coach Salah said that there's no pitch count for Brees Hall anymore.
Yeah.
So it's officially been removed.
I like it. I mean, we're on some high scoring games.
Noah Gray gets enough that we could definitely get that price paid off.
Like I said, I either like this year I either pay up at tight end or I don't care.
Yeah.
I get a 0 even from Noah Gray. I'm good with
It's
it.
not really, it doesn't hurt you that bad. It's 2,800.
The Marvin Mims Jr. one could be a little bit of a reach.
It is a bit of a reach. He's extremely efficient when he gets the ball in his hands. Last week only had 2 targets for 6.7 fantasy points, but those 2 targets turned into 47 yards, which
Right.
again just goes into show how efficient he is.
Yeah.
I like it. Do we got time to play some other games here?
I think so.
Sure.
Let's talk about favorite stack that we didn't discuss so far. So we're all checking our phones. You guys have been here for the whole show. What's a stack that we haven't talked about that you think is a sneaky good stack?
Maybe Matthew Stafford, Cooper Kupp, and Puka Nacua.
I was thinking the same thing. I was thinking the exact same thing. It's funny. Like I was like,
I'm gonna go.
I wonder if anyone's gonna play that.
Probably not.
I mean, Hurts and AJ Brown have been as hot as anybody. They're not even mentioned, right? I like Jordan Love. We discussed a little bit. I like Dobbs,
I do like.
and if Adams is healthy, I like running it back with Adams.
What about Watson? Do you like Watson this week?
Ah,
If you like for Love, Watson and Dobbs.
I'm a bigger Dobbs fan for some reason, but Watson's the more expensive one, and I guess the one that is projecting better this week. Dobbs just seems to be consistently getting it done.
Yes,
I have a lot of Dobbs in my season long, so I'm probably partial to Dobbs.
That makes sense. I did drop him week 2, Dobbs, and I'm mad at myself because he's had a pretty efficient couple weeks.
There's 6 running backs over 7K this week. If you had to pick one to pay off, who's the most likely one to pay off?
Over 7K, you said, running
Yep.
back? I'm going to say Derrick Henry.
You think I like him this week at 75? He
Yeah.
has to pay off. He's looking, he's paying off at about 23 points. McCaffrey's paying off at about 30 points. Barkley's banged up. What about Bijan?
I love Bijan.
We haven't talked about him much this week. He's
I
in a
love
good,
him.
good matchup.
He's in a good matchup.
Good matchup. Do you know that Derrick Henry likes to claim that he has a little Peyton Manning inside of himself?
That's funny.
Because I think he has 4 career passing touchdowns at the running back position.
Who is the favorite quarterback under 6K? I'm guessing there's going to be some Love. We talked about a little bit.
Yeah.
Stafford, we talked about a little bit.
Yeah, I was about to say Stafford.
Anybody else under 6K that you consider playing this week?
Believe it or not, there's a lot of industry love for Daniel Jones this week.
Okay,
Really?
good matchup.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I could see it. He either puts up 3 points or 30.
Right.
So, I also like Dobbs, Joshua Dobbs for the Cardinals
Yeah.
So
at 5,200.
moving to the wide receiver position, we talked about a lot of some of the cheaper plays. Some of the cheaper plays have moved up in price. Under 5K, Is Tank Dell still the favorite under 5K play at wide receiver? Or do we have
I
anybody?
do think he's going to have a good week. I think
I like Dobbs. We've mentioned him a few times under 5K.
I think game script is going to really benefit Wan'Dale Robinson. I know we've already talked about him, but I think
We talked about Hollywood Brown. We talked about Mike Wilson. Anything else, Juice, you see under the 5K at the wide receiver position?
I mean, I wouldn't mind throwing maybe a little dart on Jamison Williams, especially if Amon-Ra's out. You know,
it'll be a true mystery, but it could be
Yeah.
a mystery that pays off.
I mean, he could be like in the Millionaire Maker lineup.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
especially if St. Brown doesn't play.
Yeah.
I mean, like, they got to throw it to somebody, and that somebody was most likely, I would like to guess him or Laporta.
Yeah. I like Laporta this week. I might try to find a way to get him in the lineup at 5K. I feel like he can put up Kelsey-like numbers if the right people are out.
So far, he is the second highest scoring fantasy point tight end in the league.
God, I like it. I think that pretty much, you want to talk tight end, we've kind of went through. I think there's three good plays on our lineup, on our slate. Waller, or 4, we talked about Laporta. Waller just not getting it done like we had planned. Goddard not getting it done like we had hoped. Any other tight end plays that we didn't discuss that maybe you're looking at? Ferguson for Dallas,
We touched on.
briefly mentioned, is averaging almost 10 points at a position where it's hard to get points out of.
In my opinion, I think we've hit every relevant tight end on the week. We talked about Andrews, Hawkinson, Kelsey,
I agree.
Laporta.
So let's end with the new segment I've been trying to Freak of the Week. Who's your just top scorer on the whole thing? Quarterback, running back, wide receiver. Who breaks the slate? Last week we had a few slate. We had McCaffrey go off. Who else did we have go off? McCaffrey.
Nico Collins.
Dallas defense was kind of a slate breaker.
Yep. Dallas defense.
Puka.
Monty. David Montgomery.
Oh, yep. What do you think, Juice? Let's start with you.
I really like this week Justin Jefferson. I think he's going to explode. I think that game is going to be a shootout.
He's the top scorer of the week.
And I like how Minnesota their targets are fairly condensed. You know, it's Jefferson is going to get his
Hawkinson.
and then you throw in a little bit of Osborne, maybe a little bit of Addison, but it's very concentrated.
I like it. What about you, Jared?
I think my freak of the week I've already talked about. Puka Nacua.
He's going to break the slate.
He's gonna break the slate.
Like you dial in, man. Like
He's
you
gonna
dial
break
in.
the slate. I'm completely convinced that he's just gonna be so wide open this week
Why?
because Cup's back and everyone's gonna focus on Cup.
And NFL defenses can't figure out how to guard 2 wide receivers.
Well, they're gonna sure if they switch to Nacua, then Cup's wide open.
but don't they play the exact same position on the offense?
Yeah, but the Rams are gonna figure out how to make that work.
Okay. It's breaking the slate. Better than Tyreek Hill. Better than Jefferson. Better
Well, I
than
mean, I'm talking. Yeah, okay. Break. You said no salary. Tyreek Hill's probably gonna have a huge week, but I really
But not
like
better than
Puka
Nacua.
Nacua. No, I mean he'll probably have a little bit more points.
maybe little. Just
a little bit more points.
I hope you're right.
I mean, I think Nacua could be a great play. I just got to think that Cooper Kupp being back is going to curtail his production a little bit. But whatever.
And I get that sentiment. I just think it's going to be the opposite. I think he's going to be wide open.
I'm going to go with Kelsey. Go a little different.
You've been high on Kelsey this year.
It hasn't proven yet. So I think if I keep saying it, maybe it's
Eventually you'll be right.
Yeah. I almost went with Mahomes, but I'm going to go Kelsey instead. I think that Casey.
I really like that. I really like Kelsey this week. I think Kelsey, this is going to be his like double touchdown week.
It just seems like he hasn't had that game.
He hasn't yet. He hasn't.
By the way, it's onslaught stack.
Onslaught. That's what it
Onslaught.
was.
Yeah.
Onslaught.
So we are starting an onslaught stack this
Yeah.
week, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Look, fancy words.
Yeah.
Well, other than a few glitches here or there, but Jared's going to do some magic editing and edit this
tomorrow.
into a good show. How about this afternoon?
I have plans, but I'm gonna wake up tomorrow.
He's gonna. So
And
we're
then
gonna
get it
have our
done.
show available to you for less than 24 hours before your.
Whenever you're searching for it, it's gonna be live before noon tomorrow.
Okay. let's get out of here, right? You got anything else that you want to add? Any other Puka Nacua greatness that you want to bestow on us?
You should play him. 700 might scare
heard
you,
it here
but you
first.
should.
It's Puka Nacua week.
You should play it. 30 points, Puka
We're not
Nacua, coming to you
chasing
this
points
week.
here at the at the pivot. We definitely are taking all factors into consideration.
Oh, I wanted to shout out Christian. He's got a tennis tournament tomorrow.
Hey, Christian.
Good luck, buddy.
Go get him, Christian.
Cool. Let's get it.
All right. Puka Nacua.
All these random calls.
We made it through it. We'll see you next week. Fridays at noon.